Paralympic gold medalist in Paris in the taekwondo, and an absolute credit to his family and to the county as well. That's an interview that I think will probably live quite long in the memory, guys, wasn't it?
An incredible attitude. You talk about someone being laid back and not letting pressure get to him, and generally pretty nonplussed about being a Paralympic gold medalist. And I had to laugh when you asked him about what his favourite thing of the Olympics was in the Olympic Village to live up to expectation. He said, "I don't really know. I've never really followed the games."
I know.
This guy who could have been competing in 3 of them, but he had different luck. So yeah, such a refreshing attitude. Brilliant guest.
And also, you know, how good he is as an all-round sportsman as well, because he could do shot put, the javelin as well. Very, very talented guy. So, yeah, that was a pleasure to have Matt on the show, and that video will stay on the Facebook page, so you can watch that back, and you'll be able to catch up as well on the website at purewestradio.com. Right then, let's get into some of the weekend's action, shall we? And we'll do football first. And Gordon, we're itching to hear. Did you do some ground hopping this weekend?
No, I went to one ground. I didn't go too far from home. I watched Merlin's Bridge against Carew, and Merlin's Bridge will be kicking themselves. They were 2-0 up while I was there, but as I was leaving the ground, Carew had pulled one back, and they ended up winning 4-2. And obviously, both clubs got a lot of history in the Senior Cup. Fraser and I were both at the 2019 Senior Cup and West Wales Cup final, where the Bridge won both. So a little bit to have sweet revenge, but the Rooks definitely had sweet revenge on the Wizards on Saturday.
But the Bridge, you're right, Gordon, will be disappointed to make an early exit from this year's competition, won't they?
It's always a worry when you exit a cup competition and you're not doing too well in the league. It's not a great situation to be in October. So it's going to be a hard regroup for Merlin's Bridge for the rest of the season.
It's
so
right.
It'd be interesting to see how new manager Mike Preddy actually handles that. So as I said, it is a difficult situation because you're trying to keep the whole squad happy, and I shouldn't say it, but there's nothing to play for.
And the thing is, Fraser, as well, you always like, if you're having a bad league run, the idea of a cup run can actually help rejuvenate a season, can't it? To not having that.
And Kerry will hope that now. They've been poor in the league in the bottom 2, of course, and yet it's such a capable side. They were Senior Cup semi-finalists last year, only extra time away from being in the final. They've gone far in competitions over the years, but it's a difficult one for Bridge now. It's a different mentality because they are a club that over the last couple of decades has been used to challenging for honours. Even last year, it wasn't a great league season, but they were West Wales Cup semi-final, I believe. They were one game away from the Swansea Stadium. It's not looking like that this year. So it's maybe a rebuilding job there. But like Gordon says, it's difficult when you're looking out in the middle of October and you don't feel you've got a great deal to play for.
Indeed.
Moving on, Ben, what about the Tenby result against Monkton Swifts? Because Monkton Swifts beat Tenby in the league last week at Monkton Lane 4-2. But the Seasiders certainly hit form this Saturday with Scott Fernie and Fraser Finley both getting hat-tricks, and a certain guy by the name of Joe Lee, who we're all familiar with, just signed from the Bridge to Tenby, getting on the score sheet as well. And they beat the Swifts 7-2. Dylan Davis scoring twice for the Swifts. So I didn't expect the margin of goal, in that particular game. I thought it was going to be a lot closer, but Tenby are a good side on their day. They proved that against the big sides.
I think they're a real threat in that competition now.
They are.
There's slightly mixed memories of Tenby. Obviously, you were there, that Senior Cup final win that day, and we really thought that would be the stepping stone for them to go on and challenge Hakin, who were the champions at the time. It never materialised, and within a year or two, they'd actually folded. They folded, incredible sequence of events. So I think they've learned from that. But I can't see the league title on their way. I think they're too far off Goodwick now, but they can certainly challenge in that competition. That's their best hope of silverware.
Yeah, we've said before, actually, we think Tenby as a cup side in particular this season could go well. So that was a really good win, 7-2, as you say, against Monkton. Let me just give you the other scores. 3 other games in the first round of the Senior Cup at the weekend. Camrose 5, Pendine 2, Haverfordwest Cricket Club 0, Hakin United 6, and Penna Robins 6, Johnston 1. So for Penna and Hakin, big wins there at the weekend.
Yeah, no surprise in any of those results for me, really, to be honest with you. Hakin have expected to win that big, and Penna Robins as well, a good side now at home, lower opposition. So, no surprise by any of those 3 scores, to be honest. And Camro's actually going well in Division 2, banging that title race at the moment as well.
Well, what is interesting this week, Ben, is Clarbie Road going to Neyland. Clarbie Road, the holders, going to Neyland, who are in Division 2.
Yeah.
So that will be a potential banana skin for Clarbie Road, who, won their first ever Senior Cup back in April.
On the back of a loss to Tish in Division 1 as well.
Correct, yeah.
Tish now 10 points.
They've done really well
10
of
points
late.
from 4.
Yeah.
A couple of other games as well, I think, aren't there, this weekend in the first round as well as that one? Narberth Goodwick United, St Ismail's Solver, and Kilgetty against New Hedges Saundersfoot, which is something of a local derby, that one, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very short.
That's if it goes ahead. If the moors is dry enough to play football on.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Okay, that was the Senior Cup. And actually, have we had tips from you guys on who's going to win the Senior Cup? We had that in. I think Tenby get a mention.
I don't think we need to talk about that at this stage, Ben, to be honest with you.
No? What?
Wait to the quarterfinals. And
then we'll start the tips.
Yeah, Gordon wants to stay on the fence a bit. That's what
you don't want to catch us out too early, Ben.
Gord wants to stay on the fence, doesn't he? That's what it is. All right, in Division 1, I mean, the game we have to talk about, and difficult to talk about it without feeling some sympathy for Herbrandston, but Goodwick United can only beat what's in front of them, and my word, did they do that, didn't they? 16-0, they won on Saturday. That must be one of the biggest scorelines we've had in Division 1 for a while. I'm sure the three of you might recall a bigger one.
Up some similar scores in there a couple of years ago. Yeah. It's sad to see. I don't like seeing it, and you really do hope if Herbie do pick up somehow after the shutdown, because it looks bleak for them now. And inevitably, you have a drop off of the players that are there now. Craig Nicholson, I've seen, just gone back to Hakin, one of their better players, midfielder. And I've seen clubs in this situation before, and it's a long season. And we saw Narberth actually manage to hang on, but inevitably boys do leave. They don't want to be hammered every week, especially by scores by about 16-0. And in the end, you end up it's a derogatory experience to go up, because you end up with less than what you end up with. Boys are siphoned off, and you go down in Division 2, and you're in very bad shape for Division 2. Then I hope that doesn't happen to Herbie. I hope they have the mentality to stay together, to keep fighting, and to go again next year. I really, really hope so. But it's a difficult situation for them now. And, I don't like saying it, and I haven't seen them play this year, so it's probably an unfair comment, but certainly in terms of results, they're one of the worst sides in Division 1 at the moment in recent memory. And it's a long way to go, and it's going to take real character for them to stick together from here.
Yeah, and let's hope they do. Is there anything here, Gordon, that could be looked at, do we think? Because obviously Herbrandston were 4th, weren't they, in Division 2, and the reason they go up is because second teams can't be promoted. Does it surprise you?
I think that is something the league could look at, actually.
Yeah.
They could just promote just the one side. You have to be in the top. No, I say you've got to be in the top 2 to be promoted. I know they got a lot of second teams that could actually, win that division, which has happened in the past, and come second.
Moncton second champion.
So it is something to look at. The only problem is then the guys who are relegated, like if Herbie stayed there this season due to it would be. Would be a travesty, wouldn't it?
Gordon has a point there. There's no perfect solution to this. It's actually they adopt a different system in cricket. You're saved relegation, so the team below can't go up. Yeah. They'll only promote a maximum of 2. But as Gordon's given a good example, I've seen teams. Actually, Herbrandston was one of them, and Llanrhian was one of them. I have to say, who stayed up for a couple of years on technicalities. And then were hammered then for 2-3 years, became 4 years. When they eventually did go down, you're in a worse state than when you went up. Yeah. So sometimes it can benefit a team to go down, and sometimes it doesn't benefit a team to go up.
Yeah, I guess if you were the league as well.
Easy solution to it, is there really?
No. I agree with what you're saying. I do believe that you should be top 2 to earn promotion. I don't like being able to come essentially in Division 2. I think you could probably 4th or 5th. And go up 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Would you expect the gap to be quite as big as it's proven to be, though, between 4th in Division 2 and where Herbie have been and found themselves?
It shouldn't be.
Unfortunately, I think Herbie have lost a few boys as well, and that's what happens with any club. But losing some of your better players in a a relatively small squad doesn't help the village side whatsoever. So, Lee Galdo, as manager, has done a superb job. He's working hard every week to get a team out, and he needs to be applauded for that. And I know the mentality they got down there. They will stick it out, and they will build. They'll build again, and they will come again at some point. But it's a very difficult period for them at this moment in time.
Yeah, just a bit of reality. You have to be careful talking about it as well, in a way, don't you? Because you don't want to be patronising to a team that are playing Division 1 football. But I do hope they do stick together and come through these difficult times and go again next year. Let's hope that is the case. The only other game in the First Division at the weekend, another win for St Ishmael's, and against Clarbeston Road, who are having quite an inconsistent season on the back of that Senior Cup win last year, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned the Tenby example then. It's not quite that extreme, but it can happen. And it was a challenge for Clarbie Road to not let it happen this season. And so far, it hasn't gone so well. You have to say that, you win a Senior Cup. It's a competition Clarbie had craved for a long time. It had become a bit of a holy grail for them, the 2 or 3 finals of later years, which they didn't get over the line. So the euphoria and emotion of getting there can be a come down the following season. I'm not saying that is the case, but they haven't as yet matched the form. And we were saying at the start, is the challenge ahead of them now is to go from being a cup team and team you can challenge consistently at the top. And they weren't too far off second place last year. So whether there is a bit of a hangover, I don't know. Perhaps Gordon's better position to say that than me. But they'll be disappointed with how it's gone so far.
I did have a chat with Matthew Ellis, who isn't manager at the moment, last week about what's happened at Clarbie, and he was honest with me. He said we've lost a few boys, we've lost our appetite, and it's been difficult to get 14 men to be involved in the first team squad. I know Ben John, their striker, who hasn't been available for the last couple of weeks. I think he's been involved in golf tournaments.
Right, yeah.
I think their skipper Reinhold George is starting to do some Ironman training. So it's things like, they're good players as well, these guys who were missing. And like we spoke about Herbrandston, you only need 3 or 4 of your better players not to be playing every week. And it's a different ball game. Pardon the pun, but it is.
We shouldn't take anything away from Tish, mind. I haven't mentioned that. Just 4 games ago, they were sitting on 0 points as well. And we were talking about the 2 who came up going straight back down. 10 points in 4 games is a remarkable rally. They fought, they've battled. It was kick-started by that comfortable win over Herbrandston, but to beat Clarbeston Road 2-0, that's a serious result for them. Brennan Devon playing very well for them. It's not just himself, a few of them are, to be honest.
Graham Ninnis is manager as well now, Fraser. He's been there when they were in a decent side. So he's done well there to galvanise Tish, and they're moving up the table now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done, Tish, indeed. And just round up the football for us by just having a quick look into Division 2, and interesting with the discussion we just had about Herbranston's promotion from 4th place. Actually, the title race in Division 2 right now is really intriguing. A couple of sides have played different amount of games, but there's only 2 points separating the top 5. Fishguard on 21, Narberth and Nayland on 20, Camrose 19 and Haken Reserves on 19. So as things look at the moment, we might not have a repeat of a second team winning the title this year. It's looking competitive, isn't it?
No, it really is. And Nayland, of course, if we've gone back down, you expect them to fight to go back up. And Camrose, actually, a surprise package. Have been down in the lower divisions for a few years now. Yo-yoed a bit between 2 and 3, but have really come good this year and are in the frame. Haken seconds were always thereabouts as well.
Fishguard as well.
And Fishguard, of course, another team that's gone down. You expect them to be up there. But Narberth, Narberth, like we should mention.
Another club.
For the Herbie example, they went through a terrible year in Division 1. You wondered, would they hang on? They did. Yeah. They didn't start great in Division 2. Slowly but surely, they've rebuilt, they've gathered, they've kept going. And now they're a strong Division 2 side again. And good to see them back up there.
Yeah, absolutely right. Okay, we'll do the football again, of course, next week. We'll look at the next round of the Senior Cup, but we should also say Haverfordwest County came through a penalty shootout in the Cup, didn't they? Again, it was Bluebirds against the Bluebirds, wasn't it? The Thomas Bluebirds were the visitors to Carmarthen. The hero, actually, was the reserve goalkeeper, young keeper, Ivan Knott, who I saw play actually in the game at Gloucester City, and he let a few goals in that day, but actually played quite well. And he came up trumps in the shootout, and Dan Hawkins scored the winner. An edgy game that, Gordon, actually 0-0, wasn't it? After normal time.
Well, ironically, the Bluebirds from Caerphilly knocked them out last season 2-1.
They did.
So Derek Brazil is director of football, former manager.
Yeah.
Adam Raymond actually came on with, it was an injury. Injury time he came on, and he was there for the spot kick, and he converted it, to be fair to him. Ex-Goodwick player. No, it was a potential banana skin. Tony would have realised that. He's gone for broke, to be fair. He went with quite a relatively strong side, and what he didn't have playing, he had on the bench, to be fair. So it was a compliment to Thomas Bluebirds. And you're right, Ivan Knott, he pulled off a very important save just before the final whistle, to be honest with you, Ben. And also, he saved one of the penalties that made sure that they went through. But on saying that, the 5 boys had to put it in the net as well. They did well to put their spot kicks away. So they're into the 3rd round. So anything can happen after that.
Yeah, they'll be pleased to make some progress after last year's exit. And I think Pennock said he couldn't really afford to change the team too much because he knew Thomas would be a decent opposition after last year.
Yeah.
So that was a decent win. Carnarvon at home, so in Carmarthen again against Carnarvon this Saturday, which is a 5:15 start.
I think they exited the Welsh Cup as well, did they not, on Saturday?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
I mean, you think Carmarthen actually an interesting update on that, Ben, on Good Authority in the weekend, that they will actually look to have almost a grand opening of that 4G pitch on January the 1st against Aberystwyth. It will be ready before then, I'm told, a few weeks before, but quite sensibly, Tony Pennock wants to have the opportunity for his squad to train on there for a few weeks before they start using it. But the way things are going, they might be better off staying Carmarthen. I'd be sorry to leave it, you know. But
just stay there the remainder of the season.
Their form in Carmarthen has been very good, but no, it's looking like a grand opening on January the 3rd. This week.
Yeah, I do wonder if it's the pitch actually, because they have got some good. Playing on that surface, they've got some good ball players, Haverfordwest, haven't they? And maybe that surface is suiting them. They've got some technically quite good young players who quite like that surface. So that's good. All right, watch this space then. We'll look forward to hopefully the Bluebirds back in Haverfordwest at the start of 2025. Right, we're going to take a moment. We'll come back for the final part of tonight's show with a look at some of the rugby from the weekend. Some interesting matches. Narberth and Crymych continuing to find life a little bit tricky at the start of this season. And we'll get some indoor cricket news as well before the end of the show on Pure West Sport.
Explore the world with Oki White Travel, celebrating an incredible